Everyone, on behalf of the Bar Association of India, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 35th POLA Summit here at the India Habitat Center, New Delhi. We are lucky to be hosting presidents and representatives of leading bar association. Kim, yeah, please. Thank you. Can I now request Mr. Rawat to please hand over bouquet to our guest of honor, Mr. R. Venkataraman, our Attorney General. I'm sorry, we are trying to press ahead because our chief guest has to attend a presidential reference hearing today at 10:30, so we have to sum it up quickly. May I now invite our President of Law Asia and Vice President of Bar Association of India, Mr. Shyam Diwan, to deliver his opening remarks and introduction.
Thank you, Amarjit. The Honorable Mr. Justice Vikram Nath, Judge, Supreme Court of India. The Honorable Mr. Justice Varale, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Mr. R. Venkatramani, Attorney General for India and Honorary Chairman ex officio of the Bar Association of India. Mr. Prashant Kumar, President, Bar Association of India. Amarjit Singh Bedi, Honorary Secretary, Bar Association of India. The most important person in this room for many of you who've obtained a visa to arrive here, Rachana Srivastav, Vice President of the Bar Association of India, distinguished bar leaders, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to New Delhi, an ancient settlement on the banks of the river Yamuna, and which currently serves as the capital of the most populous country in the world. A special greeting, namaste, to all our first-time visitors to India. I'm so glad that the POLA Summit has not, as yet, succumbed to the seduction of Zoom. It's indeed a pleasure for the Bar Association of India to host you in person. How wonderful that our deliberations over the next 2 days will take place face-to-face across this room, and without that infernal instruction, please put your questions in the chat box. As you will experience, Delhi has much to offer beyond its notorious air quality index reading. Incidentally, the showers of the past few days has ensured that we are in good air territory for now. Please do take the time to visit the grand medieval monuments, the bustling bazaars, and the diverse food scenes. You have here a range of religious landmarks: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist, Christian, Jain, Zoroastrian, Baha'i, where even the non-believers amongst us may experience a spiritual stirring. Then we have a set of modern landmarks in the secular tradition. Amongst them, our Supreme Court building, whose facade Indians associate with liberty, dignity, and justice, that triumvirate of values which drew many of you into the world of law. This summit is exceptionally diverse, and when I did a count late last evening, we had over 50 distinguished delegates representing 22 jurisdictions. Thank you for traveling great distances to participate in these deliberations. In many ways, Delhi mirrors India, rooted in history, enriched by diversity, and energized by the aspirations of a young and future-looking population. To speak of Delhi is to speak of India's vibrancy, resilience, and promise. At summits like these, global events invariably cast a shadow. An ancient Indian political text, the Arthashastra, foreshadowed a philosophy in wide currency today. It goes by the name Matsya Nyaya, or law of the fish. Matsya is fish, Nyaya is law. And the Arthashastra tells us that the bigger fish eat the smaller fish. The Arthashastra cautions us that in the absence of a fair magistrate, the strong will swallow the weak. However, under the protection of an impartial magistrate, order will return and the weak will resist the strong. I trust that our deliberations will reject Matsya Nyaya for a more just order. Perhaps we should be guided by the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen's idea of justice when he argues that the real Nyaya or justice is about reducing injustice across communities in observable ways. And for that, surely, we require an independent bar, an independent judiciary, the deepening of democracy, and a fearless appetite for courage. I thank you all and welcome you to this summit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Diwan. Now may I request our President, Mr. Prashant Kumar, President of the Bar Association of India, to deliver his presidential address.
Good morning, Honorable Justice Vikram Nath, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Varale, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Mr. R. Venkatramani, Attorney General and Honorary Chairman of the Bar Association of India, my colleagues, Shyam Diwan, President Law Asia, Rachna Srivastav, Vice President, Mr. Amarjit Singh Bedi, Secretary General, Mr. Chandyok, President-elect, and all the tall leaders of the bar from Asia Pacific and beyond. So I welcome you. I remember this venue very distinctly when 2001 POLA took place, the 11th POLA, in this very room. And I was a volunteer then, sitting on the side row on a chair. So it's a pleasure for me today, especially to host all of you in New Delhi. That meeting taught a very vital learning about the Asian culture. We had a simultaneous meeting of Law Asia Council, and there were the two candidates for presidentship of Law Asia. One was late Mr. G.L. Sanghi, sponsored by India, and the other Mr. Gordon Hughes, who was from Australia, and he currently is very much there in Law Asia. So there was a tie of votes. So when the tie was there, the first person to react was Mr. G.L. Sanghi. He said, I cast my vote for God. So that's the tradition we perceive our Asian family of law associations and lawyers. Mr. Sanghi became president after one term, but this was the spirit, and I think we have been able to sustain that spirit throughout. And that is what keeps us together, not just the shared values of legal profession, but the capacity and the inclination to know each other better, the appetite to work with each other. And this summit is very important because here we all sit and deliberate issues which we may not discuss in open, issues which concern independence of profession, which concerns independence of judiciary, which concern the general state of rule of law in each jurisdiction. So that way this organization is very unique, where we can discuss, we can share our experiences, and we can see whether there is a possible way out, how we can help each other. And in practice, that has happened quite a number of occasions. where we have supported each other, we have stood by each other, and once, even in regimes where the appetite for these issues is less or minimal, or certain oppressive elements have come in the course of political changes, the very fact that there is an international glare on the developments has helped the situation to ease out and resolve ultimately. So that is the purpose and that is the real objective of this organization. Apart from that, we have discussion in a larger group on various topics, and this year's theme is before you. All topics are quite forward-looking, and this is my, I was a convener in 2015 POLA in Goa. I was given the honor of co-chairing in 2016 in Sri Lanka and 2017 in Mongolia by our Mongolian friends, and this is my third and final POLA in my tenure to chair it, and it's a special honor and it's a nostalgic moment as well for me. But it will remain my family. I'll be around there. So once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now may I request our guest of honor, the Attorney General for India and Honorary Chairman of the Bar Association of India, Shri R. Venkataramani. May I request him to kindly address the gathering.
Let me welcome those of you who travel long distances. And to travel these days is comfortable, easy as we think, but unlike Columbus and Captain Cook traveled all those days. But you need to have a mind to travel. You need to have a commitment to travel and to be part of a global community of those who want to see a new world and change a new world order. So I invite each and every one of you for this global commitment, particularly from the Asian continent. And as probably things will unfold, we are going to play a huge role in a new understanding of rule of law at a global level and rule of law within domestic frontiers. So with that few introductory words, since the learned judge has to go to the court as early as possible, I want to share a few concerns. What volunteers can do, Prashant talked about, volunteers can move from the back side to the front side and make changes happen in a big way. He's a great example. And he mentioned about just Mr. C.L. Sanghi. We're talking about ties. The tie which Sanghi voted, I think, brought about greater ties. So it all depends on what ties we make among each other by losing something which is not very precious. So there are, long ago in 1958, when Justice Brennan was addressing association, bar association, he said, senior lawyers do seem to be listening, but in their innermost mind, they're thinking something else. And he said, I would like to address the law students. Probably they'd like to be more receptive. But fortunately, there are no law students here. All of you will be as receptive because each of you have come to share your own thoughts. And we have a common travel, common journey, and a common end and pursuits. Now, the supreme value of democracy, all of us understand, is the worth and dignity of each individual. And why do you have a constitution? And why you talk about rule of law? And if liberty is as important for each and every one of us who live at a very preferred state of life, it's equally important for those who are aspiring to live with dignity and worth. So how do we make it all possible? The Cold War era, happily, is dead. But we have new other wars which are on the horizon. How do we therefore ensure the legal community that we coin new understandings of world equation on equal regard and equal status for all nations? And how do you also ensure these coining of new understandings percolate within the domestic frontiers? And each democracy, within its own special features and history, is able to perform and move towards common goals of peace and world order. I think all of us are committed to that. I'm sure in today's session and tomorrow and day after, we'll be talking about it more and more. But I only want to say this finally. Each one of us, I think, individually are committed to something good and beyond ourselves. And beyond ourselves, we think about that means, and I remember John Adams, long ago, President of the United States in 1789, talking about And I study war and peace because my sons must study mathematics and philosophy. And they study mathematics, philosophy because my grandsons will study architecture, peace, tapestry, beauty, etc., etc. Therefore, you're talking about the great grandsons who will be studying not war and peace, will be studying mathematics, philosophy, values of life, dignity, and so on and so forth. I think we're committed to each one of those values. Let us be committed, continue to be committed, and have a common journey where the globe will no longer be torn with wars and all those lack of humanity is considered. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Now may I invite our chief guest, Honorable Justice Vikram Nath, Judge of Supreme Court of India, to deliver his address.
A very warm good morning to everyone. My esteemed colleague, Brother Prasanna Varale, Learned Attorney General of India, Mr. Venkat Ramani, President of the Bar Association of India, Mr. Prashant Kumar, Senior Advocate and President of Law Asia, Mr. Shyam Diwan, Vice President of the Bar Association of India, Ms. Rachna Srivastava, Mr. Bedi, General Secretary, distinguished presidents and office bearers of Lawyers Association from across the Asia Pacific region, esteemed members of the legal profession, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to all of you at the 35th POLA Summit here in New Delhi. This summit is a proud milestone in a journey that began more than 3 decades ago, when presidents of law associations across Asia first came together under the banner of POLA. What began as a forum for dialogue has grown into a movement of ideas, friendships, and collaboration, anchored in a shared commitment to the law, to democracy, and to justice. Today, as this historic city hosts the 35th POLA Summit, the tradition of regional dialogue continues with renewed purpose. The decision to call this gathering a summit reflects both the stature of this forum and its role as a common meeting point for leaders of the bar to exchange ideas, reflect on shared challenges, and chart a collective way forward. Over the years, POLA has been more than an annual event. It has become an institutional guardian of the rule of law. By bringing together the leaderships of bar association across Asia Pacific, it has defended the independence of the legal profession and upheld professional ethics, and reminded us about the importance of free and independent lawyers. The theme chosen for this 35th POLA Summit being Developments in Law, Concerns and Challenges for the Legal Profession in Asia Pacific could not be more timely. We meet in an age of transformation. Technology is altering how justice is delivered. Social media is reshaping how it is perceived, and the contours of rights and freedoms are being tested daily. Against this backdrop, our deliberations in the coming days will address some of the most pressing questions facing the legal community. The working sessions will engage with the emerging challenges and opportunities in law. The session on courtrooms without walls will remind us that courts today are not confined to physical spaces. With live streaming, virtual hearings, and the growing presence of artificial intelligence, we must ask, how can we safeguard judicial impartiality while embracing transparency and innovation? The session on human rights enforcement will explore the balance between binding treaties and voluntary norms in human rights, and whether soft law can deliver real protection or remain only aspirational. The session on AI in legal practice, education, and litigation is an acknowledgement that the age of the AI lawyer is fast approaching. Yet, no algorithm can replace the human conscience, the ethical compass, and the moral responsibility that lie at the heart of our profession. And finally, the session on inclusivity and intersectionality will remind us that the future of law must be representative, diverse, and equitable if it is to command legitimacy in the eyes of all citizens. Colleagues, The challenges we face are not confined to national borders. Technology does not stop at checkpoints, and neither do questions of rights, environment, migration, or justice. That is why POLA is so vital, as it enables us to see beyond narrow horizons and to shape regional responses to global questions. We must continue to uphold the independence of our bar associations. We must continue to improve legal education, for it is the foundation upon which the next generation of lawyers will build. And we must continue to stand together across jurisdictions, across cultures, across traditions, so that the voice of justice remains strong and united in Asia Pacific. As this summit begins, it is worth remembering that the law is not defined only by statutes and precedents, but equally by the values of fairness, equality, dignity, and courage. It is these values that should guide the deliberations over the next 2 days. I have no doubt that the discussions here will be rich, thoughtful, and forward-looking. They will prepare us not only to confront the challenges of tomorrow, but also to shape them into opportunities. I once again extend my warmest welcome to all distinguished delegates and thank the Bar Association of India for hosting this landmark event. May the 35th POLA Summit strengthen our resolve, deepen our friendships, and reaffirm our commitment to the rule of law and democracy across our region. And in the end, I expect and I am sure that all of you will carry not only some additions to your legal knowledge and but also some very good memories, and enjoy the good food, the spicy Indian delicacies. I am sure all of you will take good memories back home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lords, for your guidance and word of wisdom. Now may I request Ms. Rachna Srivastav, our Vice President, to give vote of thanks. And thanks again to her to interact with Ministry of External Affairs to get the visas at the last moment.
Thank you, Amarjit. Namaste, good morning to all. Chief Guest, Honorable Justice Vikramnath, Judge Supreme Court of India, Justice Varale, Judge Supreme Court of India, Mr. R. Venkatramani, the Attorney General for India, and our Vice Chairman, Mr. Prashant Kumar, President, Mr. Amarjit Singh Chandio, President-elect, Mr. Shyam Devan, President Law Asia, and our Vice President, Amarjit Bedi, General Secretary, distinguished guests in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. We are delighted that POLA is back in India again after a decade. We had hosted POLA Summit in 2015 in Goa, and since then, POLA family has expanded larger, and now we have 23 jurisdictions participating this year with the 4th International Associations as observers to share the development of law in their respective jurisdictions. After 2 days, we are also starting a Rule of Law Convention, International Rule of Law Convention, where we'll be signing 11 MOUs with different jurisdictions and 17 bilateral meetings. Due to this time constraint, I'm being very brief. I have just got a mandamus. So adding briefly that I am truly honored to propose this vote of thanks on behalf of the Bar Association of India on the occasion of opening summit of POLA. First and foremost, I will thank our Chief Guest, Honorable Justice Vikramnath, for accepting our invitation after great persuasion and gracing this occasion. Sir, your insight and kind words have truly inspired us today. A huge thank you for sharing your knowledge and perspective on the theme of POLA, developments in law, concerns and challenges for the legal profession in East Asia Pacific in such an engaging and relatable way. Your work sparked new thoughts and gave us a fresh perspective on the subject. Our heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Shri R. Venkatramani, Attorney General for India, for taking your precious time out for today's inaugural session. Sir, your journey and message on the subject has motivated all of us today. In closing, I wish to express my deepest gratitude to each one of you for your gracious presence and starting the summit with immense enthusiasm and excitement to make this summit a memorable success. It is rightly said, great moments are born from great appreciation. Thank you so much to each one of you. Thank you so much.